It's a beautiful fall day here in the middle of the woods in the south. I got my cozy socks on. I guess today I'm gonna spend some time spreading some truth.
Now let's get something out of the way before we get started here. And that is defining the word occult. Now many people hear this word and they think of sorcery and magic. The word occult derives from the Latin word occultus, meaning hidden knowledge. So to be an occultist only means that you are practicing hidden knowledge. This does not define the occult as bad or good. We also can't discount the fact that hidden knowledge can be used for good or bad, and that depends on the person that's using it. Now, Jesus Christ was born into a time when esoteric and Gnostic practices were still fairly prominent in society, and a formal Christian tradition wouldn't even exist for another 250 or so years after the death of Christ. So if the Christian religion didn't even exist yet, then what was it that Jesus was practicing that had such an impact on the people? And this is where I piss off a whole lot of people. Jesus was an occultist. He understood natural law. Something that most people don't understand or even know is that there are natural laws that govern the universe. And a lot of these laws have actually been defined by and proven by some of the greatest minds in history, including Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla. And these laws govern all aspects of energy on our planet. Let me be clear. Natural law is a natural function of the universe. There are laws that exist that govern energy on this planet. 99% of people don't even know they exist. And if you did tell people that they existed, they probably wouldn't believe you. But the thing is about it is that if you discover and understand natural law and you function and operate according to natural law, then you are actually in a better position to manifest and manipulate those energies to do good for you and others. Now, natural law can also be used on the darker side of things, and this is what is called dark occultism. Dark occultists understand very intimately natural law. This is why secret societies have been formed. They're using this natural law for selfish gain. And on top of that, it has been used greatly to enslave people. Now, my future videos are going to get into how that is possible and all of that good stuff. But something that's a key thing to understand is that by understanding natural law and using it for good, then you are actually in alignment with the universe. And if you're in alignment with the universe, you are in alignment with God. Now let me use my last statement there as an opportunity to explain something. God is not a sentient being. The religious connotation of God has described him as being a sentient being that is watching and judging your every move. The way that God has been depicted through religion is wrong. God is the fundamental energy that gave birth to the laws that govern the universe. Now, depending on how we behave and operate through our lives in accordance to natural law, these laws either work for or against us. So in a way, if we're operating negatively, then these laws are working against us because we're working against them. And therefore, that is how the notion was put into place that God is judging us, because these laws are actually governing our experiences based on our actions, thoughts, and emotions. So in a sense, we are inadvertently judging ourselves, and consequently, we experience the negative effects of our behavior. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this quick because I'm freezing out here. But what I'm trying to get to here is that, I rejected the term God for so much of my life, and I was an agnostic for so much of my life because I think innately I just always rejected religion. And I think a lot of people reject religion. And the reason why they do this is because they know deep down and subconsciously that religion has taken the truth and twisted it so much that we can't even relate to it anymore. We look at it and we're like, that's not it. That's not the truth. And we know that. Somehow we know that. But when you start looking at God from a different perspective, God is not sentient. God are these natural laws that govern the universe. Yes, it's judging us because we are actually performing the actions in which these laws are working or against us. So when you start looking at it that way, the term God actually becomes so much more powerful. And you realize that you are actually endowed with the same creation abilities and that power that the church talks about, but they're just teaching people the wrong way, and it's deliberate. They're teaching people this way on purpose.
In my previous video, I started to detail how the Romans took over Israel, they took over Egypt, and then they killed Jesus. They went on to create a religion called Christianity, and they made Jesus the Messiah as a complete act of mockery in their stories. They then went on to hunt and murder people that practiced witchcraft. Do you know why? Because witches were practicing natural law. The same laws that Jesus had come to understand and demonstrate. The Romans' primary goal was to stamp out the truth from anyone who had it. And then they went on to sell a false version of God to the world that still exists today.
So I guess the only thing to do now is to take a look at examples of what made Jesus the most badass occultist that ever existed.
One thing that we first need to understand is that our thoughts carry an energy frequency that the universe can seemingly understand. Our thoughts have the potential to heal. We've seen this in multiple placebo studies, which in my opinion hasn't gotten the recognition it deserves. And there are many forms of energy and frequency healing that exist that are known to have powerful effects. Jesus himself was known for healing the sick. In fact, when he healed the sick, the church responded with accusing him that he was possessed by demons. Is it at all possible that Jesus just understood the energy of the universe and could understand how to use it to enhance some healing abilities? And what about the records of Jesus turning water into wine? Could this just be a metaphor for what we know today as manifestation? The church actually went on to describe manifestation and these powers that Jesus had as being extremely evil, and nobody should practice them or research them. The great majority of the miracles performed by Jesus have to do with healing, but he's also known for manifestation and walking on water and also controlling the weather. The biggest question that people should be asking is, there are records, biblical records, where the church actively opposed what Jesus was doing, and yet today they call them miracles. So what changed? Why did they flip the script? Of course they're going to add something to the Bible that tells you it's evil to practice what Jesus was teaching. Why do you think they didn't include Jesus' teachings in the Bible at all? Because if people knew that everybody held the same power and ability to do these things, they wouldn't be able to control you. May the truth come to light, and may the truth set you free.